Guys, before going to the video, just visit the channel once. We have so many playlists here. We have advanced Python course, advanced SQL course, advanced Power BI course. This is in Telugu and this is advanced Excel course. You will get more courses in future. Also, if you go to podcasts, just see the podcast. So all these podcasts are in Telugu. So we have discussed everything about every job. So you will get end-to-end details if you visit this podcast. Thank you guys. Please subscribe. Please support me. I'll give you more free courses. Hello, colleague. Welcome to my channel. So many people requested, we are launching a new SQL advanced course here. We will cover each and every topic in detail. Support me with a like and subscribe. Don't forget to share this channel to your friends. Your support motivates me to launch many courses. Also, we have many free courses available in our channel. Please visit. Let's go to the video.
Next, we will try to understand group by clause. Group by clause, how group by clause will work in SQL. So group by clause will use for to arrange similar data into groups. So when we apply group by clause in the query, then we use group of functions like count, sum, max, min, average. If we use group by clause in the query, first the data in the table will be divided into different groups based on the columns and then execute the group function on each group to get the results. Let's see how it works. So basically group by clause will use for to arrange similar data into groups. When we apply group by clause in the query, then we use group functions like count, sum, max, min, average, right? Now if we use a group by clause in the query, first the data in the table will be divided into different different groups based on the columns and then execute the group function function on each group to get the result. Let's see how we can use this group by function. Let's take I wanted to find out the number of employees working in the organization. I want to identify number of employees working in the organization. Let's say I have a situation like this. Then what we can do, we can use, now I'm using this employee table. So in employee table, I can see all the employees who are working in the organization. Then simple, I'll start with here select. Then as I mentioned, we use any group of functions. So I'm going to use count and star indicates for all the rows, count star from employee table. So when we execute this query, then we are going to get the number of employees. So total we have 15 records in my employee table, right? So we can mention just select count star of employee table, right? Let's say for example I want to understand each uh, department wise how many employees are working. So I want to understand now, this is for what, total employees in my employee table, right? Now let's say I want to find out the number of employees working in each group in the organization. I can say each department wise I want to understand. So I can write here number of employees working in each group in the organization. Then what we can do here, we'll say here select. So we want to understand each department wise department. Then I will write here count star from employee table, and then we apply here group by. So we wanted to group each group based on my department table. We write here DEPT department table, DEPT number, I believe DEPT number we have. Yeah, department number wise we want to identify, so we can write here department number wise. Let me execute. So we see here 10th department 3 employees are working, 20 department 5 employees are working, 30 department 6 employees, 50 department 1. So we can understand, like, in group by clause we need to provide ungrouped columns, or I can say ungrouped columns under group by column. Like here we mentioned here uh, count star, then we exclude this count star and we mention only the column name here, right? And we can also write here, instead of no column name, I can mention here as count count, or I can write here as department number count, or department, let's say number of employees in num- emp underscore count, let's say emp underscore count. So execute, then in place of no column name we can see emp count, right? Now, let's say I want to understand each department wise my total salary. Okay, we are getting this number of employees. Now I want to understand total salary. So for each department wise, so we are going to apply some aggregate function like sum, and then sum of salary from employees. So we need to provide in group by clause, we need to give non-aggregated columns. Like here you can see we are getting some column name, nothing but my sum of salary. So we can mention as salary. Continue. Then you can see employee count, then salary, right? Like this. So we can mention any aggregate functions here, right? Similarly, we have having clause. So group by clause is basically whenever we want to see the grouping of the grouping, and then we want to see the uh, totals, then yes, we can go for group by clause. Next, we have having clause. Having clause. So having clause is also used for filtering, and restricting the records in a table, just like where clause, right? So let's say in where clause we can filter the records. Then coming to group having clause, in having clause we are going to apply a filter after grouping. Like here in this case we have seen department number wise employee count and their salary, right? Let's say I have a situation, I want to see the employee count where greater than 3. So I need only those departments where my employee count is greater than 3, right? So let's say, let me write here, I can write here, find out the number of employees in each department only if the count is greater than 3, right? So let's see, I want to filter it out only the employees where my count is greater than 3. Then what we can do here, we can just go with the same, select department number, count star, and employee count. Now after applying group by, After applying group by, so we can see each department number wise employee count, but we want to filter further. I want to see only employee count where my greater than 3. Then we can write in after group by, we will use here having clause, having. So we can write here having count star nothing but count greater than 3. Now this time, so previously we got 4 records. Now when we apply here having count star greater than 3, in this case we are going to get only 2 records because my employee count is should be greater than 3, right? So like in this way. So we can check further if you want to filter the records after group by. After group by, if you want to filter the records, yes, we can go for having clause. So we have a group by and having clause. Let's see the difference between where clause and having clause. Between where and having clause. Where clause and having clause. Let's see the difference between where clause and having clause. So the first one is where clause is used to filter and restrict the records before grouping. So we use where clause in that here. Is used to filter and restrict the records before grouping before grouping. Now coming to having clause is used to filter and restrict the records after grouping after grouping, right? And if restriction column associated with a aggregate function, then we cannot use where clause here. But coming to having clause having clause cannot be applied without group by clause right? Then where clause can be used for restrict individual records, right? But coming to having clause whereas having clause is used along with group by clause to filter or restrict groups, right? So these are the difference between where clause and having clause. Thank you.
Support me with a like and subscribe. Don't forget to share this channel to your friends. Your support motivates me to launch many courses. Also, we have many free courses available in our channel. Please visit. I hope you like this video. We will see you in the next video.